Your Honor, Augustine refused.
Augustine refused?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. I believe you already refused once. I think we'll have to, we'll deal with that in a minute. Anybody else?
No, Your Honor.
Great. Don't see any Spanish language defendants on the list tonight. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
All right, then I'll excuse the interpreter for the evening. Thank you very much. All right, sir, can you please tell me your full name and date of birth?
Andres Francisco Salazar, 11085.
Salazar. Good evening. This time set, I'm sorry, your birthday was what again?
11085.
Oh, thank you. Had that correct. All right, sir. This time set for your initial appearance. You're being seen here this evening based on a misdemeanor matter in the Tucson City Court involving possession of drug paraphernalia and criminal trespass in the 3rd degree. Remind you do have the right to remain silent, and anything you say can be held against you. Let's see. All right. I think you're already being held on a separate matter that's not in front of me this evening, so I'm going to set a court date for you in the city court for February the 13th. 9 a.m. and I'm going to appoint the city public defender's office to represent you. So they should be reaching out to you here in the next few weeks, hopefully. I'm not going to hold you on this matter since you're already being held. And that's all I've got for you. Thank you very much. Excuse me.
Thank you.
Give this.
Good evening. Can you please tell me your full name and date of birth?
Good evening, Eddie Ramon Lacello, II, January 1st, 1993.
All right, Mr. Estella. Good evening. This time set for your initial appearance. You're being seen here this evening based on a petition to revoke probation in the Tucson City Court filed.
I was supposed to have court for that today, and I wasn't transported.
All right. Well, here's you're also being held on a separate matter. So
Yeah.
We'll let the city court know that you're being held. I'm going to set a video review hearing for you on January 21st at 1:30 in front of Judge Million. For the bond request, I'm going to impose $2,500 cash secured bond, and I'm going to appoint the city public defender's office to represent you. I'm going to enter a denial on your behalf of the allegations. And if you do post a bond and are released, I'm going to order that you not commit any acts of domestic violence or have any contact with the alleged victim. Okay?
Yeah, is that congruent with my other charges, or is it separate bond?
Separate. It's a separate case, separate bond. Okay? All right. That's all I have for you, sir. Thank you. You're excused.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Hello there.
Good evening. Can you please tell me your
Good evening.
date of birth?
Cheyenne River Day, 12/5/1973.
All right. Your day.
Yes, sir.
All right. I'm sorry. Can you please tell me your date of birth one more time, please?
12/5/1973.
All right. Thank you, sir. You're being seen here based on a felony charge of aggravated domestic violence, aggravated harassment, allegedly occurring on December 27th of last year. You also have a separate matter in the, looks like the Oro Valley Magistrate Court.
Valley.
What?
Oh,
I don't believe that one is in front of me this evening.
the one,
I
It's
just
the
remind you,
same
sir, you
one.
do have the right to remain silent, and anything you say
Okay.
can be held against you. You also have the right to an attorney. And in this felony matter that I just mentioned, I'm going to appoint the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you. The attorney seated right next to you is going to be assisting you in this hearing. So if you need to say anything or have any questions you need answered, please talk with her before saying anything out loud, okay? All right. This was a holdover from a prior session. All right. I just reviewed the interim complaint and the pretrial services report. Do note the, like I said, the probation violation warrant that I believe Mr. Day is currently being held on in the Oro Valley Magistrate Court. It was rated a 5 and a 6 on the NCAA and FTA scales. Victim input couldn't unfortunately be solicited at this time. And I do know 3 prior misdemeanor convictions. All from 2021, 22, 23, the latter of which is the one I believe with that is carrying the warrant. State's recommendation is $10,000 bond. Anything else to add from the state?
No, Your Honor, nothing to add.
Defense? I believe you might be muted.
Yeah, thanks, Judge. Just a moment.
Problem.
Judge, it does look like he's in custody on other charges. I can't see those bond amounts, so I don't know what he's being held at, but regardless, he's not able to pay that. So he doesn't have any felony priors. I'm looking at the interim complaint and I think it's pretty weak in terms of probable cause. I mean, I don't even know if it meets the standard, just barely. And so for those significant bond reduction, that the suggested 10,000.
Okay. And I'm sorry, I also failed to know that there appears to be an active order of protection as well, which is forming the basis of the probable cause for repeated alleged violations. Given that in the PSA score, I do have concerns for both failing to appear potential and for potential risk to the alleged victim. So I'm going to impose a $10,000 cash secured bond and order pretrial services supervision if bond is posted. I'll order also that Mr. Day not possess, consume any alcohol or illegal drugs, possess any firearms or weapons, and surrender all firearms to law enforcement within 48 hours. And above all else, not have any contact of any kind with the alleged victim, to include going to their place of work or residence. I'll set the preliminary hearing for January 20th at 1:30. All right, thank you very much, sir. You're excused. All right. Before we move on to the next in-person defendant, I want to take up Mr. Augustine. All right. On Mr. Augustine, I believe he is refusing for a second time. On these waived his presence. I've reviewed the interim complaint alleging attempted second-degree murder, domestic violence second-degree murder, as well as the pretrial services report. Do note he is a 4 and a 3 on the NCAA and FTA scales. Victim input couldn't be received. Community ties couldn't be verified. There was one prior felony conviction, which was a violent offense from 2013. Did include history of failing to appear. State's recommendation was for $750,000 bond. Anything else to add from the state?
No, Judge, nothing more.
Thank you. Defense?
Judge, we'd just like to note that I don't have any verified employment. So when considering the bond amount, I'd ask you to consider that fact in terms of this financial situation.
Thank you. And I did note that unfortunately he couldn't be seen by or interviewed by pretrial services staff, unfortunately. That being said, I do find, just based on the facts as alleged, that there is a significant risk to the alleged victim. So I'm gonna set the bond amount at $150,000. That'll be cash or secured. I'm sorry, secured, excuse me. Order pretrial services supervision if bond is posted, no firearms or weapons, and obviously no contact with the alleged victim. Preliminary hearing date will be set for January 20th at 1:30. All right, move on to the next.
Super shock.
All right. Good evening. Can you please tell me your full name and date of birth?
Good evening, Christopher Sean Eck, March 16th, 1971.
All right, Mr. Eck, you're being seen here this evening on, looks to be 3 different matters. We'll go through each one of them. The first is a warrant that was issued by Judge Mary Lou Natividad at the South Tucson Municipal Court on charges of domestic violence, disorderly conduct, and criminal damage from April of 2024. The second are charges of shoplifting and criminal trespass in the 3rd degree, looks like, from earlier today. That's in the Pima County Justice Court. And third, you have similar charges pending in the Tucson City Court, criminal trespass and shoplifting from August of last year. And just reminding you do have the right to remain silent, and anything you say can be held against you. Sir. You're not being held on any other matter. On the South Tucson court case, sir, I'm going to set a hearing for you on January the 20th at 10 a.m. Do you know where the South Tucson Municipal Court is?
I think so. It's where the library is, right?
Yeah, the South Tucson Municipal Complex is on South 6th Avenue. If I release you from custody, can you promise me you'll appear at that hearing on the 20th, excuse me?
I will, Your Honor.
Then I'm gonna release you on that promise. I'm gonna order that you not have any contact of any kind with the alleged victim, to include going to wherever they work or live. On the justice court case I mentioned, new charges. I'm gonna set an arraignment date for you for the same day at 8:30 a.m. All right, so you have two court dates, but 2 hours apart. Actually, give me 1 second. Yeah, that's correct date. Again, can you promise me you'll appear at that hearing if I release you from custody?
Yes, Your Honor. If the court dates the times are too close that I'd be late for it or anything. That's the only thing. My only concern, to get from South Tucson, however long the court takes to down to town to the court. I don't want to be late or nothing.
Sure.
That's all.
Right, sure. It's a few miles away.
Yeah.
If you feel that you need to reschedule the court dates for either one, you can certainly contact
Okay.
clerk of the court at South Tucson or at the justice court. But
Okay.
either way, you need to inform them beforehand if you're gonna have any issues getting from one to the other. You understand?
Right. Okay.
All right. And then lastly, on your city court matter, I'll set a hearing a little bit further out. This will be on February the 6th at 9 a.m. in front of Judge Hale at the Tucson City Court. It's just down the way from the Justice Court. Do you know where that is?
Yes, I do. It's on Almeida, right?
Yes, on Alameda, correct. Can you appear at that hearing, sir?
Yes, sir, I can.
All right. Then I'll release you on that promise. I'm going to order you not have any contact of any kind with any alleged victim or go back to wherever this allegedly occurred. I will remind you, sir, that you got a lot of different matters going on. If you're going to have trouble, again, you need to contact whatever court you're going to have trouble getting to before your hearing. Otherwise, you could have another warrant issued for your arrest and you end up right back in jail. Okay.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. That's all I have for you, sir. Good luck. Thank you. Good evening. Can you please tell me your full name and date of birth?
Eric Joseph Nuanez, 2279.
All right, Mr. Duanez, being seen this evening based on couple matters. The first involves misdemeanor charges of criminal trespassing, domestic violence assault, domestic violence disorderly conduct, allegedly occurring earlier today. This is in the city of South Tucson. And the second is a city court case, Tucson City Court case, I should say, with charges stemming from July of last year. I'm sorry, July and August of last year, excuse me. Just remind you do have the right to remain silent and anything you say can be held against you. On your South Tucson matter, let me just take a look here, pretrial services, the pretrial services report for you. All right, the alleged victim appears doesn't, you don't live with the alleged victim, Ms. Garza, is that correct?
No, but that's my girlfriend. That's very important. She's very special to me.
All right. Well, fortunately for you, Ms. Garza doesn't object to having further contact with you or to your being released from custody, which is good. So on the South Tucson matter, I'm going to schedule a hearing for you on January the 20th at 10 a.m. at the South Tucson City Court. If I release you from custody, can you promise me you'll appear at that hearing, sir?
Yes, Your Honor, I promise.
I'll release you on your promise. I will order that you not commit any acts of domestic violence. I will not order no contact based on the alleged victim's wishes, but you need to understand any contact you have with the alleged victim needs to be peaceful, respectful, and if they decide that they don't wish to have any more contact with you, then you have to honor that. Do you understand?
Yeah, I do.
All right. Then I'll release you on your promise. I'll set that court date on the 20th. And on your city court matter, I'm going to set a separate hearing on February 6th at 9 a.m. in front of Judge Hale at the Tucson City Court. Again, sir, can you make that hearing if I release you from custody?
Yes.
All right.
Your Honor.
I'll release you on that. And that is all I've got for you, sir. You'll be released later this evening. Please make sure and abide by these conditions, attend your hearings, and good luck. Good evening. Can you please tell me your name and date of birth?
James Lewis Prinky, 12161.
All right, Mr. Finke, good evening. This is time set for your initial appearance. You're being seen here based on a single charge of
Yes.
misdemeanor threats and intimidation allegedly occurring earlier today. Just to remind you, excuse me, you have the right to remain silent and anything you say can be held against you. Let's take a look here at your pretrial services report. Just need to get a little information about your case before I make my decision about conditions of release. The alleged victim is Ziem. Do you live with them?
Sam. Yes, we all live together.
Okay. Do you have somewhere else you can reside for the time being?
No, I don't. And I also have to be home with my wife. She has terminal cancer. Tonight's, I changed her fentanyl patch and I make sure she takes the right amount of her oxycodone. So no, I have nowhere to go. We all live together. And this happened last night, not today, last night. I come home today after taking my wife to a PET scan. And my mother-in-law
Again, sir,
said,
you do have the right to remain silent and anything you say can be used against you. Okay, so we're not going to be talking about the facts of your case. What I'm trying to ascertain is whether or not and under what conditions I can release you. So right now, unfortunately, the alleged victim couldn't be reached for comment. So under these circumstances, I have to err on the side of caution and order you not to have any contact. If I'm going to release you, I have to know that you can abide by that condition. So if you guys live together,
my mother-in-law said as soon as I'm released to get a hold of her and she'll come and get me. That's my mother-in-law. She thought thought the police were coming.
you don't want to talk about the facts of your case.
It's frustrating. I need to get to my wife.
I understand, sir. I'm trying to get you there, but understand I have an obligation to make sure that all parties are kept safe.
They are
In
safe,
this
very safe.
In this instance, sir, if I release you, I'm going to order that you not have any contact with the alleged victim to include going to wherever they work or live. If you can abide by that condition, then I can continue on with releasing you. Otherwise, I have to consider holding you on a bail or bond. So again,
What
sir,
about could I get to the house to get my car?
yes, sir, I
I
can.
have nowhere to go. I don't even have folk.
Yes, sir, I can provide you the opportunity to return with a police escort, but otherwise, the condition I have to impose right now, again, for the sake of all parties' safety, is that you not have any contact.
Okay.
Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Can you abide by that?
Yes, sir.
And as I mentioned, I will release you on promise that you will abide by that condition and that you will appear at an arraignment on February the 4th at 10:30 in the morning. Can you do that, sir? I'm sorry, there was a muting.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Again, I am going to order that you not have any contact with the alleged victim. I will allow you to return to the residence one time with the police escort. So you will contact the Oro Valley Police Department, the Pima County Sheriff's Department, or another law enforcement agency. Arrange for a law enforcement officer to be present with you while you gather your belongings, and then you leave with them. You're not allowed to go there otherwise
When is, for how long?
until your hearing or until another judge changes or modifies these conditions. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, sir. With that, that's all I have for you. Thank you very much. You're excused. Good evening. Can you please tell me your full name and date of birth?
Tercera de Jesus Garcia Jimenez, and my date of birth is November 2nd, 2001.
Thank you very much, Ms. Garcia Jimenez. You're being seen here this evening based on 2 charges of domestic violence, misdemeanor domestic violence assault and domestic violence disorderly conduct allegedly occurring earlier today. Yeah, just to remind you, you do have the right to remain silent, and anything you say can be held against you. I'm just going to take a look here at your file. Just bear with me for 1 second. Morning. It looks like you're not being held on anything else. The alleged victim. Correct, you don't live with the alleged victim? Mr. Palma, you don't live with him? You do not? I need you to answer out loud, please.
No,
No, okay, thank you. All right. Well, Mr. Palma, the alleged victim does not object to your being released or to having further contact with you. And given the other circumstances involved, I am prepared to release you on promise that you can appear at a court hearing at the Tucson City Court on February the 10th at 1:30 in the afternoon. Can you do that?
February 10th at 1:30. Which court? I'm sorry.
Tucson City Court in downtown Tucson.
Okay, yes, of course.
All right. Now I'll release you on your promise. I'm only gonna order that you not commit any acts of domestic violence or possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs. I'm not gonna order no contact, but I need you to understand that if the alleged victim decides they don't wish to have any further contact with you, you need to honor that. You understand?
I understand.
All right. And that's all I have for you. You'll be released later this evening. Good luck. Thank you. Good evening. Can you please tell me your full name and date of birth?
Henry Godoy, 13192.
All right. Good evening. It's time set for your initial appearance. Being seen here today based on a warrant that was issued for your arrest out of the Tucson City Court. These relate to charges of, well, a few different cases actually, but reckless driving, assault, criminal damage, resisting arrest. And again, other charges of disorderly conduct and possession of drug paraphernalia. I remind you, you do have the right to remain silent, and anything you say can be held against you. All right. In accordance with the issuing judge's request, I'm going to impose a bond of $2,499. That'll be cash or secured. I'm going to set a video review hearing for you for January 16th, next week, in front of Judge Hale. And I'm going to appoint the City Public Defender's Office to assist you. So they'll be representing you. And you'll be seeing Judge Hale in the same way you're appearing in front of me this evening by video, okay? If you do post a bond, I'm ordering that you not possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs, possess any weapons or firearms, and have no contact with any alleged victim in any of the cases. And that you not drive without a valid license. All right, sir. Thank you very much. That's all I have for you. You're excused. Good evening. Can you please tell me your full name and date of birth?
Isaac Daniel Moraga, 1/1/1985.
Moraga, good evening. This time set for your initial appearance. Being seen here this evening based on new charges of criminal trespass in the 3rd degree, resisting arrest, and false report in law enforcement, allegedly occurring earlier today. To remind you, sir, you do have the right to remain silent, and anything you say can be held against you. Just confirm, Joe, Mr. Moraga is being held on a separate matter. Is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. All right, Mr. Moraga, you're being held on a separate felony matter. It's not in front of me this evening. Just these new charges. So what I'm going to do is enter pleas of not guilty on your behalf. Appoint counsel, in this case, the City Public Defender's Office, to represent you. And I'm going to set a hearing for you on February the 13th at 9 a.m. in front of Judge Mayhew. There'll be a non-transport review hearing, so you attorneys may waive your presence in that case. But in any case, you are presumed innocent, and you have the right to have the state bear the burden of proof beyond a reasonable doubt of your guilt. You also have the right to attend all hearings in your case, to include a trial, where again you are assumed innocent, or presumed innocent, I should say, and the state has the burden of proving otherwise. However, if you fail to attend any hearing in your case, to include a trial, then that hearing or trial could proceed in your absence. New charges could be filed against you, or a warrant could issue for your arrest. Additionally, if you're found guilty at a trial in your absence and cannot be sentenced within 90 days, you lose the right to appeal that conviction. Do you understand all that, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Right. And that's all I have for you, sir. You're excused. Thank you. Good evening. Can you please tell me your full name and date of birth?
Scott Craig Sachs, April 6, 1998.
All right, Mr. Sachs, good evening. It's time set for your initial appearance. You're being seen here this evening based on 2 charges of domestic violence, disorderly conduct, allegedly occurring earlier today. Just to remind you, you do have the right to remain silent, and anything you say can be held against you. You also have the right to an attorney, which may be appointed to you by the court or hired at your own expense. Make sure. All right, looks like the alleged victims in this case don't object to your being released or to having further contact with you, and you're not being held on any other matter. So I'm going to enter pleas of not guilty on your behalf to these charges, and I'm going to set a court date for you on February the 5th at 9:30 in the morning in front of Judge Verena at the Tucson City Court. Do you know where that is?
No, is this gonna be written down somewhere though, so I can remember it?
Yes, it will be written down. The courthouse is in downtown Tucson. If I release you from custody, can you promise you'll appear at that hearing on the 5th at the
Yes.
Tucson City Court?
Yes.
And I'll release you on your promise. I'm going to order that you not commit any acts of domestic violence. I will allow you to have further contact with the alleged victims, so long as they welcome it. If they change their minds and decide they don't wish to have any further contact with you, you need to leave the area, you need to break out contact. You understand?
Your Honor.
All right. Then, lastly, I'll further advise you are presumed innocent, and you have the right to have the state bear the burden of proof beyond a reasonable doubt of your guilt. You have the right to attend all hearings in your case to include a trial, where again, you are presumed innocent. However, if you fail to attend any hearing in your case, it could proceed in your absence. New charges could be filed against you. A warrant could be issued for your arrest. Additionally, if you're found guilty in your absence at a trial and can't be sentenced within 90 days because of your absence, then you could lose the right to appeal that conviction. You understand all of that, sir?
Sure. Your Honor.
All right. And with that, that's all I have for you. You'll be released later this evening. Please make sure and attend your hearings and good luck.
Hi, Helen.
All right. Good evening.
Good evening, Your Honor.
Counsel, you need a minute with your client?
I'm sorry?
You need a minute with your client?
Yes, Judge.
Go right ahead.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Please tell me your full name and date of birth.
Virginia Gallardo, 62775.
Ms. Gallardo, thank you.
Thank you.
You're being seen here this evening based on an felony interim complaint alleging domestic violence, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon or dangerous instrument, domestic violence, kidnapping, domestic violence, aggravated assault, strangulation, and domestic violence, attempted murder. Just remind you do have the right to remain silent, and anything you say can be held against you. You also have the right to an attorney, and I'm appointed to the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you. The attorney is right next to you, is representing you in this hearing, so please direct all your questions or concerns to them before saying anything out loud. All right, I reviewed the interim complaint. Did find there to be probable cause to support the alleged charges. Did review the the pretrial services report, noting that this appears to be a separate felony case where Ms. Gallardo was released to pretrial services earlier. She was rated a 3 and a 4 on the NCAA and FDA scales. Alleged victim was reached for comment. They do object to further contact and to release based on safety concerns. And there was only one prior conviction, a misdemeanor domestic violence. Looks like it may have been a diversion type case from 2021. State's recommendation. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. State's recommendation was for $750,000 bond. Anything else to add from the state?
Judge, nothing to add to the recommendation besides emphasizing the conduct listed in the interim complaint.
Thank you. Defense?
Judge, we would like to note that she doesn't have any felony prior convictions. The misdemeanor you referenced, I'm not seeing that it's a conviction. I know she was on diversion and then there's no information other than that.
Yeah.
So, she also has somewhere else she can go other than with the alleged victim. She understands she can't have any contact there. So we'd ask you to consider that. I don't have any verified employment at this time. So she's only scoring a level 2 on the pretrial services matrix. So given all that, we're asking that you consider a lower bond.
Thank you. And given the alleged facts, I do have serious safety concerns for the alleged victim. I'm going to set a bond $150,000 secured and order pretrial services supervision. If bond is posted, I'll order no contact of any kind with the alleged victim, no firearms or weapons, and obviously no acts of domestic violence. Preliminary hearing date will be January the 20th at 1:30. All right. Thank you very much, ma'am. You're excused. Thank you. Good evening. Can you please tell me your full name and date of birth?
Good evening, Your Honor. It's Max Bernard Lewin, 11/11/1966.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Lewin. Good evening. It's time set for your initial appearance. I believe you have a private counsel who is appearing on your behalf. Is it Mr. Adair?
My wife arranged it. I do not know.
Yeah, good evening, Your Honor. Mark Adair, Suzuki Law, and we have been retained for purposes of the initial appearance. I believe we just filed a limited notice of appearance for purposes of this hearing. I think in an abundance of caution, court should probably appoint counsel as well. And if we're hired for the full case, we'll certainly file a substitution of counsel. But yes, his wife has hired our firm to represent him for purposes of this evening.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Lewin, and I'm sorry, Mr. Adair, do you wish to waive reading of the charges?
Yeah, I will waive it, Judge.
All right, Mr. Lewin. So you are being seen here tonight on some felony charges, which, well, perhaps the public defense can assist you in reviewing. But for the time being, you have the right to remain silent, and anything you say can be held against you. You also have the right to an attorney. For this hearing, Mr. Adair will be speaking on your behalf. If you wish to have a private conversation, we'll have to perhaps arrange for it, an alternate means for you to discuss anything with him. But I'm going to appoint the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you. As Mr. Adair mentioned, if his firm services are retained long-term, then that may change. But for now, the Pima County Public Defender's Office will be your attorney of record. But Mr. Adair will be speaking for you on this occasion. For the record, I did review the interim complaint, did find it to be probable cause. I did review the pretrial services report. I don't note any other holds, Mr. Lewin. You note that he was a 2 and a 2 on the NCA and FTA scales. Did have housing and employment verified through a third party, and had no felony criminal history. The state's recommendation is $100,000 bond. Anything else to add from the state?
No, Judge, nothing to add to that.
Mr. Adair?
Thank you, Judge. And good evening, Brad, and Happy New Year. Thank you, Judge. I have received from staff, and I appreciate that, the documents identified by the court. Also, having reviewed the interim complaint, I guess I would like to point out the fact that in the charging information, they list my client's name as Maximus S.B. Lewin, but they have a birth date of 9/14 of 84. I see or heard my client stated birth date in 1966. I see in other documents that were referenced by the court also referencing 1966. That's also my birth date, and I can see he's not born in 1984. So I would point that out to the court first and foremost. I have read the probable cause statement. I am familiar with these types of cases, as that's what I primarily do for the firm, that homicide cases. I know the court has indicated it has found probable cause, but I would like to address a couple of issues, if I may, for the record. It indicates that there were two different dates. I'm going to assume that these were based on cyber tips. It's unusual for me to see no reference to the cyber tip in the PC statement itself. It's also unusual for me not to see an identification or description of either the images or the file names with the description of what's depicted to not be included in the PC statement. The reason I make that statement, Judge, is that when I read the PC statement and it says that two videos and images were selected and meet certain criteria for the charges alleged in the interim complaint, I don't see that there's any indication of SMRs being done, sexual maturity rating. I don't know if this officer, particularly DPS, that's not the usual investigating agency on these types of cases, whether this particular officer had the qualifications to make that determination. That's a significant point, though, Judge, in the sense that if it is, as alleged in the probable cause statement, to be involving minors under the age of 15, that certainly invokes what we know to be the Dangerous Crimes Against Children statute in the state of Arizona, which triggers significant penalties. So I certainly understand the state saying, based on these charges, he might be a flight risk. And I am very well aware of that range of sentence, but I just point out the fact that there is not a lot of information in here with respect to meeting that criteria. I will also tell you, Judge, that I am very aware of the fact that the level of probable cause at initial appearance is, not a high standard, but I still think it's worth noting for the record. Those are some issues that I noted in here. Also, the fact that they're talking about two different IP addresses. Now, IP addresses certainly, they're geographically specific, and you can have multiple devices referencing one location. But when I see the search warrant or what was obtained by the search warrant as being one laptop computer, this appears to be a private address. And usually a private IP addresses, we're talking about maybe multiple devices. Again, also having picked out only two, that's not a usual number on these types of cases, and with the different dates, I'm just concerned that with the description that's been provided to the court, that there are, to me, again, doing these types of cases, a lot more questions than answers on there. I do appreciate the court noting his score. I saw that it indicated, I think on the recommendation from the state, that he had a significant criminal record, if I'm reading that right. I appreciate the court saying he doesn't have any prior felony convictions. What I can tell the court, and this is information based on a third party as well, Your Honor, basically speaking with his wife. Mr. Lewin and his wife live together. There's no other folks, occupants in the house, and they've been here since July of 2024. If there is a criminal history record, I am unaware of any prior FTAs. That's something that was determined in terms of talking with the family members here. His wife is a computer programmer. They are in a residence in the Catalina foothills. I would respectfully suggest, Your Honor, that the $100,000 bond requested by the state is more punitive in nature rather than meeting the goals or the of what a bond is typically used for. We want to make sure the community's safe. I recognize that, but we also want to make sure that he's going to make future court appearances. I do again appreciate the amount of time that he could be looking at if these charges were sticking. And again, we only have these 2 files to go on right now. But as the court is well aware, there are other measures that the court can impose to ensure Mr. Lewin's future appearance. If the court is looking for skin in the game, so to speak, I would respectfully suggest that a bond of no more than $25,000 is more than adequate to assure his future appearance. And of course, other restrictions such as pretrial services release, curfew, things of that nature certainly could be imposed by the court. But these are just charges. I think it's somewhat weakly stated at this stage. And again, I recognize what stage we're at. I think that would be more than sufficient in this particular case. That would be my respectful request, Your Honor.
Thank you very much. And I do believe the reference to the defendant having significant criminal history, that's a standard part of the recommendation sheets, at least as I have seen them from the county attorney's office. Any substantiated information will be listed next to the colon mark, which there doesn't appear any, and I don't find there to be any prior criminal record. I do take the mandatory prison time, given that this may constitute a DCAC matter. I do continue to believe that there is probable cause in this, and I have, again, I share the concerns about the potential flight risk. For that reason, I'm going to impose a $50,000 bond that will be secured with pretrial services supervision if bond is posted. Standard conditions of release will apply to include not having any contact with any potential alleged victim and not having any unsupervised contact with any minor. I'll set the preliminary hearing date for January the 20th at 1:30 in the afternoon. All right. Thank you very much, sir. You're excused.
Mr. Lewin, I'll contact your wife. You don't need to have any other further discussion with anybody, but I hope to see you soon. Thank you. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
May I be excused?
Yes, you may. Thank you very much for appearing. Good evening. Good evening. Can you please tell me your full name and date of birth?
David Anthony Martinez, 10/28/1986.
Thank you, Mr. Martinez. You're being seen this evening. I'm sorry, counsel. I don't believe we have separate counsel. Since wish to waive reading of the charges.
Yes, Judge.
Mr. Martinez, you're being seen here this evening based on a felony charge, which your attorney can go over with you. But just preliminarily, you are presumed innocent. You have the right to remain silent, and you also have the right to an attorney. I'm going to appoint the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you. The attorney seated to your left is going to be representing you for purposes of this hearing. So if you have any questions or concerns, please speak with her before saying anything out loud, okay? All right. I've reviewed the interim complaint, the pretrial services report, and the state's recommendation. I don't note any other holds for Mr. Martinez. He was rated a 4 and a 3 on the NC and FTA scales, did have employment and residence verified through a third party. And there was just one prior felony conviction from 2000 and 2024. Doesn't appear to have been a significant failure to appear history there. State's recommendation was $10,000 bond. Anything else to add from the state?
Nothing to add, Judge.
Thank you. Defense.
Judge, we did be asking you consider a significantly lower bond or release to pretrial. As you noted, he does have verified housing, full-time employment, and support with his mother. You also noted that he only has one prior felony, and that's from 2004. I believe he was released from prison over almost 10 years ago now. Hasn't picked up anything new. This is his first, well, as far as I can tell, his first allegation since that time. He doesn't have an active NVCA flag, and it's considered a nonviolent offense. So for those reasons, we're asking you consider a much lower bond or release to pretrial.
Thank you. All right, I'm gonna based on the facts, I have some concerns for behavior. I'm gonna impose a $5,000 cash secured bond and impose pretrial services supervision if bond is posted. I'll order that Mr. Martinez report to the Pima County Sheriff's Department identification unit within 2 working days of release from custody should bond be posted. And I'll set the preliminary hearing date for January the 20th at 1:30 p.m. All right, sir. Thank you very much. You're excused. Good evening. Can you please tell me your full name and date of birth?
Good evening, it's Diogo Palma, and then my date of birth is July 13, 2003.
Thank you, Mr. Palma. Good evening. This time set for your initial appearance. You're being seen this evening based on 2 misdemeanor charges of domestic violence assault and domestic violence disorderly conduct allegedly occurring earlier today. Just remind you do have the right to remain silent, and anything you say can be held against you. Let me take a look here. All right. Mr. Palma, you're not being held on any other matter. The alleged victim in this case doesn't wish to have any further contact with you, but doesn't object to you being released from custody. Based on all of that, I am prepared to release you on promise that you can appear for a hearing on February 10th at 1:30 in front of Judge Wendy Milling at the Tucson City Court. Can you do that, sir?
On February, can you repeat that again? I'm sorry.
On February, I'm going to set a hearing for you. It's going to be on
Okay.
February 10th, 2026 at 1:30 in the afternoon at the Tucson City Court.
Okay.
If I release you from custody, can you promise me you will appear at that hearing on that date at the Tucson City Court?
Yes, I will.
Okay. Then I'll release you on your promise. I am going to order that you not possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs, that you not commit any acts of domestic violence, and that you not have any contact of any kind with the alleged victim. Do you understand that, sir?
Yeah.
All right. Then that's all I have for you. You'll be released later this evening. Please make sure and attend all your hearings, and good luck.
All right. Thank you.
Steve, can you please tell me your full name and date of birth?
Ultra Lee Webb,
And what's your date of birth?
1493.
Hey, Mr. Webb. Good evening. This is the time set for your initial appearance. You're being seen here this evening based on 1 felony complaint alleging 1 count of organized retail theft. I'm sorry, 2 counts of organized retail theft and 1 count of aggravated shoplifting allegedly occurring earlier today. I'm sorry, over the last several months actually. And you also have a case in the Tucson City Court involving charges of possession of drug paraphernalia, shoplifting, and criminal trespass in the 3rd degree. I just remind you, you do have the right to remain silent, and anything you say can be held against you. You also have the right to an attorney, and on a felony matter, I'm going to appoint the Pima County Public Defender's Office, excuse me, to represent you. The attorney seated right next to you is going to be assisting you in this hearing. So if you have any questions or concerns, want to say anything, please talk with them first. Okay. All right. I reviewed the interim complaint. Did find there to be probable cause. The pretrial services report notes Mr. Webb doesn't have any holds or statuses. He was rated a 6 out of 6 on the NCAA and FDA scales. Wasn't a third-party reference provided, so housing and employment couldn't be verified independently. And there were record of 4 prior felony convictions from 2013 to 2018. All but one of which unfortunately included history of absconding or failing to appear. The state's recommendation is $5,000 bond. Anything else to add from the state?
Nothing to add to that recommendation, Judge.
Thank you. Defense?
Yes, Judge. We'd be asking for a lower bond than the 5,000 recommended. This is considered a nonviolent offense. As you noted, there is no verified employment. He is homeless. It looks like his last prior felony conviction is from 2018. So given all that, we're asking you to consider a lower bond in this matter.
All right, thank you. I will impose a $2,500 cash secured bond and order pretrial services supervision if bond is posted. I'll order that Mr. Webb not return to any incident location or have any contact with any alleged victim, and that he submit to any monitoring or treatment as directed by pretrial services. Preliminary hearing date will be set for January the 20th at 1:30. And Mr. Webb, I'm also going to set a hearing for you separately on the city court case I mentioned. That'll be February 13th at 9 a.m. in front of Judge Maldonado. I'm going to appoint the city public defender's office to represent you in that case. And I'll make that a non-transport review hearing, so they may appear in your absence if you continue to be in custody. Hopefully they'll be reaching out to you beforehand. I'm not going to hold you on that matter since I'm already holding you on the felony. If you are released from custody on felony matter, then you need to appear at the city court on the 13th. You understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Same conditions of release will apply in this case as in the felony. All right, sir. Thank you very much. You're excused. Good evening. Can you please tell me your full name and date of birth?
Julio Gonzalez.
What's your date of birth?
Julio Maximilian Briggs. 2/4/1957.
Thanks, sir. You're being seen here this evening on 2 different felony matters. The first, I guess we'll go chronologically, is a complaint of felony shoplifting and burglary in the 3rd degree from June 2nd of last year. And the second involves charges of possession of a narcotic drug and possession of drug paraphernalia from earlier today. To remind you, you do have the right to remain silent, and anything you say can be held against you. You also have the right to an attorney, and I'm appointing the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you. The attorney seated right next to you is going to be helping you out in this hearing, so if you have any questions or concerns, please talk with them first, okay? All right. I reviewed both interim complaints as well as pretrial services report. Does appear to be a notation of a warrant that's not before me this evening, and that also Mr. Briggs Gonzalez may be on probation. Again, I don't have any additional information on that other than what's in the pretrial services report. He was rated a 6 out of 6 on the NCA and FDA scales. Was deemed steps diverted ineligible on the latter interim complaint, and did have third-party verification of housing, at least. Mr. Briggs Gonzalez had record of 4 prior felony convictions. Oh, I see. I apologize. Yeah, 4 prior felony convictions from 2015 through 2025. The latter 2025 case appears to be where the probation notation is coming from. The state's recommendation on the June 2nd shoplifting matter was $15,000 bond. And on the latter January 7th case, $1,000 bond. Anything else to add from the state on either case?
Nothing to add, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Defense?
Judge, we'd be asking for a much lower bond than a 15,000. This is considered a nonviolent offense. He does have verified housing with his mom and support. She did verify that he is unemployed. So there's no active NVCA flag. So given his financial situation, the nonviolent nature of the offense, we'd be asking for a much lower bond.
On the latter complaint involving the possession of narcotics, is your client interested in being screened for the STEPS court program? And if you need a moment to talk with him, please feel free.
Yeah, he wants to be in STEPS, Judge.
Thank you. All right. On the June 2nd case, I do have concerns about potential failure to appear or new criminal activity. So I'm going to impose a $2,500 cash or secured bond and order pretrial services supervision if bond is posted. I'll set the preliminary hearing date for January the 20th at 1:30 in the afternoon. In addition to standard conditions of no contact and not returning to the incident location, I'm ordering that the defendant contact his assigned probation officer within the first working day of following release should bond be posted. On the second matter, I'll impose a $1,000 bond for time credit purposes. I'll make that cash secured. I'll set a STEPS court hearing for January 14th at 9 a.m. and preliminary hearing for January the 20th at 1:30 p.m. Same conditions will apply, that the defendant shall contact assigned probation officer within the first working day of release should bond be posted, and pretrial services will monitor. I'll also include a no alcohol or illegal drug order in my conditions. And with that, I believe that's all we have. Thank you very much, sir. You're excused. Good evening. Can you please tell me your full name and date of birth?
Santiago Serrano Lopez, December 20th, 1991.
I'm sorry, December 20th, 1991.
Yeah.
Thank you. Mr. Lopez, good evening. This time set for your initial appearance. You are being seen here this evening on two different matters. The first involves a felony complaint of burglary in the second degree, allegedly occurring on December the 7th of last year. The second is involves a petition to revoke probation in a Tucson City Court case involving charge of domestic violence, disorderly conduct. Allegedly occurred in December of 2024. Just to remind you, you do have the right to remain silent, and anything you say can be held against you. You also have the right to an attorney. And in the felony matter, I'm going to appoint the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you. The attorney seated right next to you is going to be assisting you in this hearing. So if you have any questions or concerns, please speak with them before saying anything out loud, okay? All right. Just going to deal with this city court matter first, since it appears that there was a petition to revoke that was scanned in and sent over. On that matter, I'm going to appoint the City Public Defender's Office to represent you, Mr. Lopez, and I'm going to impose the bond as requested by Judge Millian, $2,500. Cash is secured. I'm going to enter denials on your behalf to the allegations and appoint again the City Public Defender's Office, Mr. I'm sorry, the name wasn't listed. Apologies. I'm going to set a hearing for you in this matter for January the 21st. At 1:30 in the afternoon in front of Judge Millian. That'll be a video review hearing, so he'll be appearing in front of her in the same manner that you're appearing in front of me this evening. If you do post a bond, you need to appear in person. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. Thank you. All right. I'm sorry, turning back to the felony, excuse me. I reviewed the pretrial service report and state's recommendation along with the incident complaint. I don't know any other holder statuses other than the warrant that I just mentioned. Mr. Briggson's up. I'm sorry. Sorry, excuse me. Mr. Lopez was rated a 4 and a 2 on the NCAA and FTA scales. Did have employment and housing verified through a third party. And I know one prior felony conviction from 2017. Probation was successfully completed in 2020. The state's recommendation was $5,000 bond. Anything else to add from the state?
Nothing further to add, Your Honor.
Thank you. Defense?
Judge, she's scoring a level 1 on the pretrial services matrix. He has support with his sister. He doesn't have an active NBCA flag. You already imposed the $2,500 bond, so he's going to have to pay that on top of whatever you have imposed in this case. So given all those factors in his successful previous term of probation, we're asking for a lower bond on this felony matter.
Thank you. I'm going to impose the $2,500 cash secured bond in this case as well, with the same conditions: no contact with the alleged victim or going to their place of work or residence. I'll order pretrial services supervision if bond is posted, and set the preliminary hearing date for January the 20th at 1:30. All right, sir. That's all I have for you. Thank you very much. You're excused.
Thank you, sir.
Good evening. Can you please tell me your full name and date of birth?
Jonathan David Rodriguez, 12/23/85.
All right, Ms. Rodriguez, you're being seen here this evening based on a warrant that was issued for your arrest. Signed by Judge Renee Bennett at Pima County Superior Court. And this involves charges of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, dangerous instrument, domestic violence, aggravated assault with deadly weapon or dangerous instrument, and possession of a deadly weapon by a prohibited possessor. Both charges stem from November of 2022. I just remind you, you do have the right to remain silent, and anything you say can be held against you. You also have the right to an attorney, and I'm appointed the Pima County Legal Defender's Office to represent you. The attorney seated right to your left is going to be assisting you in this hearing, so if you have any questions or concerns, you can speak with her before saying anything out loud, okay? All right, pretrial services didn't have any other statuses or holds for Mr. Rodriguez. He was rated a 5 and a 3 on the NCA and FTA scales. Victim input, couldn't be solicited at this time. Doesn't appear that the defendant was previously arrested on this matter. Third party couldn't be reached to verify housing or employment. And there are 5 prior felony convictions. Which included histories of failing to appear or probation revocations. State's recommendation, and I'm sorry, the amount of the bond listed was $25,000 secured. The state's recommendation is to simply oppose the bond as requested. Anything else to add from the state?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Thank you. Defense?
We'd be asking that you consider release to pretrial services in this case. I understand the nature of the case is violent. However, this is from 2022. It doesn't look like he's gotten in trouble since these allegations were initially issued. That's it's going to be coming on 4 years now in November. He has housing and employment. It just wasn't able to be verified. He does have, he scored a 3 on the FTA scale, like you noted. He's never previously arrested. The old address he gave did match his driver's license that was issued in July. So just given the age of the case, Judge, and his no police contact, as far as we can tell, we'd be asking that you give him a chance on pretrial services, especially because he's never been arrested on this before.
All right, thank you. I'm sorry, I forgot to. I'm sorry, just give me 1 second here. I'm sorry, there does appear to be an active order of protection. However, the petitioner in that case doesn't appear to be the same alleged victim as in the warrant. Given the prior history of being held without bond, needing to be held without bond, or having the need to be taken into custody, I do have some concerns, especially given this is domestic violence and a weapons-related offense. I am going to honor Judge Bennett's request and impose the full amount of the bond as secured. That's $25,000 secured. I'm gonna order pretrial services supervision if bond is posted. Obviously, order no firearms or weapons, and all firearms will be surrendered, no contact with the victim. And I will set the arraignment date, excuse me, for January the 14th at 1:30. All right. Thank you very much, sir. You're excused. Good evening. Can you please tell me your full name and date of birth?
Christopher Tobin, 2491.
All right, Mr. Tobin, good evening. This is time set for your initial appearance. You're being seen here this evening based on a warrant that was issued by the Sierra Vista Justice Court involving 3 felony counts of shoplifting and theft with the intent to remove theft detection devices, all allegedly occurring in June of 2022. Warrant was issued by Judge Kenneth Kerfman on October the 2nd of last year. You also have some city court matters involving criminal trespass in the 3rd degree, possession of a prescription drug without a valid prescription, possession of drug paraphernalia, false reporting to law enforcement, and repeats of the same offenses. I just remind you, you have the right to remain silent, and anything you say can be held against you. On the felony warrant, I'm gonna honor Judge Kerfman's requested bond amount of $1,500. That will be $1,500 secured. And I'm going to set a review hearing for you on February 6th at 9 a.m. This is a placeholder. We will let Sierra Vista Justice Court know that you are in our custody so that they can arrange for your transport. But that hearing on the 6th will serve as a placeholder so that we're not sitting with you in custody for too long. On this city court matter, I'm gonna appoint the city public defender's office to represent you and let them know that you are in custody on another matter. And I'm gonna set a hearing for you in front of Judge Bond for February 13th at 9 a.m. That'll be a non-attorney who may waive your presence. Or you may appear by video. Judge Bond elects to see you. If you do post a bond, you do need to appear at that hearing on the 13th. Otherwise, another warrant could issue for your arrest. I'm going to order that you not possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs, and that you not return to any incident location alleged. All right, sir. That's all I have for you. Thank you very much. You're excused.
Judge, did you impose a bond on the city court?
No, I did not. He's released on his own recognizance in those cases since I'm holding him on the others. It looks like we just lost the jail.
Sorry about that.
Not a problem. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
All right. All right. Good evening. Can you please tell me your full name and date of birth?
Alan James Tuminello. 6/30/2000.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Manello. You're being seen here this evening based on a couple of matters. The first involves a felony complaint involving unlawful possession of a narcotic drug and unlawful possession of drug paraphernalia. I do see state's motion to dismiss without prejudice. Is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right. Any objection, defense?
No, Judge.
Okay. Well, sir, the state is moving to dismiss your felony matter without prejudice, which means they may choose to bring it back if they so desire, but for now, you're not going to be held on that. I will just grant the motion to dismiss without prejudice. On your city court case, you are being seen on a warrant related to charges of possession of drug paraphernalia, criminal trespass in the 3rd degree, shoplifting, and repeats of the same offenses. Give me 1 second here. I need to take a look back in the case file. All right, in this matter, Mr. Manel, I'm going to set a pretrial hearing for you on February 9th, 2026 at 9:30 in the morning in front of Judge Maldonado. If I release you from custody, can you promise me you'll appear at that hearing, sir?
Yes.
Thank you. Minority not possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs and not return to any incident location as alleged and have no contact with any alleged victim.
Okay,
All right, sir, that's all I have for you. Thank you very much. You're excused.
thank you. So.
That's your next court date.
Awesome.
That appears to be everything. Thank you very much, everybody.